But in keeping in mind that it's the first time in basically 18 years I had 6 months to myself, with my family, with my wife, and I could dictate where I wanted to be at what time and when to do what. And that is supposed to be nice and refreshing, and I think it showed on the tennis court ever since. So I don't want to suggest everybody else should take a break from time to time, but it surely does reset things a little bit.
What was the best thing you did?
I did a lot of hiking in the Swiss mountains, which I really enjoyed. We went to the Hamptons outside of New York shortly before the US Open, where I ended up obviously not playing, but we went there because we were invited by friends, and we said, why not do it? Went to Paris Fashion Show, went to Dubai to train at the end of the year, did our first trip with my wife away from the kids, celebrating a friend's birthday. Stuff that we just normally never have the time to do.
Fantastic. Then of course we come to this season and you win in Australia, an 18th Grand Slam. Did you honestly believe that you could win another one?
I mean, I believed I could win another one, but not Australia. I was hoping to be 100% ready and match ready, and here at Wimbledon, that I could be considered one of the favourites to win if things went well, that there was going to be a chance for me to win this and then hopefully also do it. Australia was for me more of a stepping stone, quite honest, and I thought that if I could make the quarters of the semis, that would be unbelievable, because we have to not forget also I started the season as 17 in the world, so I also had a much tougher draw, so I played much better players earlier in the tournament, and I played Berdych in the third round, Nishikori in the fourth, to play Murray in the quarters. I think he ended up losing to Zverev, but it was a rough draw, and considering that I hadn't played in 6 months, I looked at the draw and was like, okay, well, it was fun being here in Australia. Ended up winning the whole thing. It was a huge surprise.
So with that serving as a stepping stone, in your words, should you triumph here again 5 years after your last, where would that rank in terms of all your great achievements?
Extremely high, because Australia, it almost felt like the best win of my career. I don't know how to tell you. It felt that amazing because it came as that much of a surprise, and I'm playing so much more sort of relaxed and free tennis, I'd like to call it. I try to play these break points like I have nothing to lose. I'm only here to win something, and especially now I think ever since winning Australia, I can even play more freely, and I'm trying to remind myself every single point I play that just keep going for your shots, just enjoy yourself out there, and then good things will happen to you.
Thus worrying for your opponents, Roger.
Well, but it's never a guarantee you're going to pull off the good shots. You might still hit the back fence from time to time.
But here, this fortnight, more of the same?
Well, let's start with the first round. That's a tough one against Dolgopolov. I've practiced a lot with him. I think he's a great player. He's got tremendous talent, speed and everything. He's just not been too healthy, but I haven't seen him in recent weeks, so I have to expect the toughest Dolgopolov I've faced so far. And it's the first week of Wimbledon. The grass plays different. It's a different match just because of the way center court plays, or court one plays for that matter, in the first week, and I have to be careful too, so that's my first focus, and not the second week yet.
Andy Murray's been struggling with a hip problem. What's that like when you bring a niggle, or maybe potentially something more serious, into a Grand Slam? That must be such a really difficult thing to deal with when you're expected to do so well.
No, it is annoying. It's a pain because I'm sure you're spending a lot of time on the massage table, getting massages, stretches, whatever you can do. You're trying to get healthier, but all you need is time, essentially, and you don't have time, so it needs to be an injury that you can deal with, on a daily basis, or you feel like even though you're playing, it will fade and it will go away. And I think that's the big question, can that injury disappear again, or can you just play through it? The problem is, as every match you play and it gets worse, that's when you know you're in trouble, and I hope for Andy that he's going to be okay.
Final question. It's 16 years since your famous win over Pete Sampras, next door here on centre court. Do you think, on reflection, that was the day that changed your life?
I feel like it was more the first time I won Wimbledon. That changed my life. Yeah, just being a Wimbledon champion is a different thing than being a one-hit wonder where you're the guy who beat Sampras at Wimbledon. You don't want to be remembered for that, being that guy. So I went on and did greater things than that, but I still look back and think that might have been single-handedly my favorite moment in my tennis life as a player, because was my first time on centre court. I walked in with ice cold hands, and I was so nervous. And I was playing my hero, and it was 5 sets. He had everything, and ended up winning it. So if I could ever replay a match, I would always replay that match.
You've given us so many memories and so many more still to come by the look of things. Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Roger Federer talking to me at Wimbledon yesterday, doing his very best Pac-Man impersonation. I think that was a world first. Debbie Jevons, you've seen this week down at Wimbledon the attention to detail which makes him such a great champion.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible. It's a lovely to hear him so relaxed coming into the championships. But as you say, he did relate back to many matches many years ago, and it's really interesting. On the Wimbledon website, there's a section called Live Wimbledon, which is where a number of top players, including Roger, have been asked to look at what happens next in the rally, and also fans can partake in it.
It's like a what happened next game.
Exactly, it's what happened next. And
how did he get on?
we asked it, and he went back, actually, all the way back to the Sampras match that you're referring to, and he was shown 3 rallies over matches of the last 10 years at Wimbledon. Asked what happened next, and he got everyone right. It's incredible attention to
Just like
detail.
random rallies,
Random rallies.
random matches in random years.
Yeah, and
you knew what happened.
You did, and it's well worth looking at it. It's, you know, and for everyone to have a go as well. It's great.
Kevin Garside, looking across all sports, and you've covered many, if not all of them, is Federer right up there with the very best in your opinion?
Who would be better than Federer? I know. I just think the sports that I've covered as a correspondent, I mean, Formula One, I was there on the Formula One correspondent for the Daily Telegraph. All it was Schumer wins race. That was the big beef. Tiger Woods, these are the ultimate reference points. Not only are they the greatest of their generation, they somehow reset the bar. They take the game, the parameters shift, and they do stuff that no one's seen. Mayweather in boxing, you know, I mean, I know we're talking about 4 years old, that ridiculous matchup he's got coming up with McGregor. Awful thing that doesn't bear mention with his great fights, but this bloke can fight. But you know, he's unbeaten. Everybody wanted to take him down. He did it on his terms, but he was still evidently the best of all time. And that's what we're talking about with Federer. And you know, here's a little thing about Federer that ought to put it in some kind of context, away from the sport itself. I know you were saying about your little anecdotes there, but I know someone, let's just call this person an insider in a tennis infrastructure, but not at Wimbledon, who's intimate with players, getting them in and out and stuff like that. This person told me that of all the tennis players that she worked with, Roger is the most gentleman-like figure of them all. I mean, listen, none of them are bad dudes, but I mean, that tells you all you need to know.
Didn't he turn up to a surprise farewell function for the former chairman?
Yeah, he did, and that's, yeah, you're absolutely right. There were 2 years ago when Tim Phillips, our former chairman, retired. It was the day before the end of season championships, and the current chairman, Philip Brooks, arranged a surprise dinner for him. And Federer, to be fair, also refereed out, turned up, took time out of their schedule the day before a major event to come and just say thank you for everything that Wimbledon has done to him. He is a true gentleman.
Well, the other name, Rafa, was another name that was mentioned in the same context.
Absolutely.
Great players, both.
More tennis in the second half of Sports Week when we hear from the former world #1 Victoria Azarenka. Now the British and Irish Lions, accompanied by thousands of those wonderful travelling supporters, head to Auckland knowing the Test series with the All Blacks is still alive. Those rugby supporters must have been fearing the third Test would be dead after the comprehensive New Zealand win in the first match. But the Lions scraped a 24-21 victory yesterday morning in Wellington. The All Blacks hampered by the early dismissal of centre Sonny Bill Williams. Let's get a view from New Zealand from the former All Blacks World Cup winning coach Graham Henry, who's also, of course, been coach of the Lions.
Well, I think it's pretty straightforward. That's a great win to the Lions. They played exceptionally well, particularly those last 20. I thought their defence was absolutely outstanding. Swarming defence, going forward, everybody on their feet, everybody focused, doing their job. So I think that was probably the backbone of the win. And obviously they put a couple of great tries together in that last quarter. And two excellent tries. So they'll be very happy with that result. Big improvement from the first Test. You know, these guys have probably only played 4 games together, perhaps. And maybe not that many, so Warren has done a great job in getting them all together.
How surprising is it that the Lions have scored more tries than the All Blacks, Graham?
I think it's going to be fair. No, they played great rugby in the weekend. And, you know, it was a bit of a reversal, wasn't it? I know the All Blacks were locked down, but, you know, that's the game. You just keep men on the track, and so that's the game, and the Lions took advantage of that. I think the All Blacks ran out of a bit of steam in the last quarter, playing with a reduced number, but no, it's great. It's great for the game. It's great. This is a great competition, and the Lions have a real duty, but I think it's great for the Lions brand. Talk over here, maybe coming from over your place, obviously, about the future of Lions too. And this is, I guess it reinforces the quality of these particular test matches. The two best teams in the world playing against each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's definitely something I want to talk to you about in just a moment. Just on yesterday's game, how would you summarise Sonny Bill Williams' contribution?
Oh, it's obvious. I don't think we need to go along any further on that. He made a mistake. He got a red card. So he's out of the game after 20 minutes.
How has New Zealand reacted to that?
Oh, he'll be disappointed, Sonny. You know, he's a quality athlete who puts a lot of time into being a quality athlete. He'll be extremely disappointed. He's let his team down, and people understand. Like, it wasn't intentional. He made a mistake.
One of the big Lion stars of yesterday is Maro Itoje in the second program. A real rising star of world rugby. How highly do you rate him?
Oh, young man is making a real impression. So he's going to be a big-time player now. No, he's at work rate with yesterday. You know, he's obviously got an attitude that's superb. He's not fazed by the challenge. From all accounts, he's right forward. He's doing university course. I think it's politics of it. And so he's a wee bit different from the average rugby player perhaps. So he's got a big future, and he looks a great player already.
For all the qualities of the Lions yesterday, they did give away a lot of penalties, didn't they? And actually came close to not winning against 14 men. What do they need to do, Graham, to stamp that out?
Oh, more discipline in the breakdown, and the offside line. I think he's around that breakdown. I think that's where the majority of the penalties were given away. There was a couple of accidents in discipline play that was penalised, a yellow card. So, that's what they need to do. And penalty count reduced to less than 10. I think they gave away 13 to 8 yesterday. But it's mainly in the breakdown. It's not their technique in the breakdown and being over enthusiastic, I guess. But they were better yesterday in the breakdown than the first test. So they were competitive there. So maybe they just need to keep working at it, but just be a wee bit more circumspect, I guess.
You praised Warren Gatland earlier, the coach of the Lions. Is he seen in New Zealand as a future All Black coach?
Oh, he's possibly a future All Black coach. Like, he's probably the most experienced, or one of the most experienced coaches in the world. He's had a long run with Wales, and he's got Six Nations, I think, and been with the Lions for some time. So he's done exceptionally well, Warren. I'm really pleased for him. There's been some negative press over here with that clown incident, which is embarrassing for normal New Zealanders.
Well, thanks for that, because he said that helped.
Yeah, exactly. And I just try and show this stuff, and it's just not necessary. It shows a huge lack of respect, I think, both for the Lions and the Lions brand. It does irritate people over here as well.
So just a couple then on this issue moving forward, Graham, of the future of the Lions tours. For you, is this still very much the pinnacle and should be retained at all costs, the Lions tours?
Oh, sure. I think these test matches are like World Cup finals, World Cup semi-finals and finals. So it's the biggest contest in the game apart from the World Cup, I think. Like our All Blacks really look forward to it. It's really stimulating to them. They can't wait for the Lions to arrive. They get one chance every year. For the Lions players, it's not used to be the pinnacle. And I assume it's still a pinnacle of their career to get selected for a Lions tour. So I think it's a good thing. I just hope that the people who make the decisions make the right ones and keep the Lions brand moving up and being involved. I wonder about having some Lions at home, back in the British Isles and Ireland. I wonder if that might be possible to go.
Well, it'd be great. It'd just be where you fit them into the schedule, I guess.
Yeah,
Should the English club sides, acknowledge that the Lions is as great a thing as we know it is?
yes, obviously. Just ask the players and ask the fans. That's what the game's about, isn't it? And I'm sure they'll all be very positive about the Lions brand and continuing and maybe expanding it in the future.
What about if half their team comes back beaten up, though, ready for pre-season training? That's not ideal.
No, but you've got to have priorities, and if the Lions is a priority, that's the way it has to be, doesn't it? Like, these guys will need some time to recover, and I'm sure the clubs will be sensible enough to do that.
You're a former Lions coach, you're a former All Blacks coach. It's gone to the decider, Graham Henry. Who is going to win in Auckland?
I think it's a fabulous match. I think the Lions have got a lot of confidence out of running the game. The All Blacks they'll be sore and very determined to get one back. So I just hope it's a great game of rugby, and we'll see what happens.
Should the Lions do it, though, where would it rank in your opinion? You're a man who's seen virtually everything in world rugby, Graham. Where would it rank in terms of achievements if they could pull it off?
Oh, absolutely outstanding. I guess there wouldn't be too many better achievements than that. Like the All Blacks are obviously the current world champions and ranked number one in the world, and I think that's probably correct. So to beat the All Blacks at home with a side that's had very little rugby to get through here, an astronomical achievement.
What will the coaches be feeling? Give us an insight into how they'll be feeling ahead of this decider.
Oh, they'll be just focused. I think most of them will be reasonably relaxed. They'll know their teams will give their all, which they've done in the first 6 years. So it'll just be a matter of who's going to take their opportunities on the day and handle that sort of pressure, I guess. You don't have to wait and see what the weather's like. Like the weather wasn't too sharp in Wellington, and I guess the All Blacks would like to have a very dry ground, and imagine the Lions too. So I can't wait. Great news.
Graham Henry, thank you for joining us on Sports Week.
No problem. Bye.
So a brutal third test match to come, no doubt, and many club coaches will be watching with a little bit of fear as their squads return to pre-season training this week. Exeter Chiefs, of course, won the Premiership in fantastic, dramatic fashion 5 weeks ago. Their head coach, Rob Baxter, joins us live this morning. Rob, good morning to you. Match yesterday, what an effort that was from the Lions. Can you break it down tactically for us, how they managed to do it?
I think they pretty focused on how they want to play. I think it's got their defensive press quite well worked out, under a decent amount of pressure, and as you said just now, that they outscored the All Blacks, which is a fantastic scenario. It was great to have done that last night. Putting so much effort and so much energy into their defence. As Graham was saying, some of the double tackles and driving New Zealanders back, especially on the fringes, was absolutely fantastic. That created pressure into defensive momentum for them, and I think that really has been almost the focus and the energy that they've had that's stopped the All Blacks kind of off their stride a little bit, and I think that's improved over a short period of time. That they are using a press defence. Not everybody within the Lions will have used that as a system before, and as they become more comfortable with it and they're able to add more energy, more line speed, that's becoming a very big weapon for them. And obviously the set piece is standing up, their kicking game is standing up, the energy in their chase game is very good, and overall, I would have to say, I think at half time I was getting a little worried with the amount of ill-discipline and relatively soft ill-discipline that was giving New Zealand a lot of points and allowing them to stretch away. But fortunately, they managed to come back in that final quarter when it possibly looked a little bit like the 14-man scenario did start to tell a little bit in the Lions' favour.
Yes, and have they got one more big performance in them? I mean, they're improving, and some are saying, well, actually, they can play better. And wouldn't it be brilliant if that happened in Auckland?
Well, I think that's the really positive scenario for the Lions, is that they're spending time together, so they're learning systems, they're learning each other, they're having time on the training field, whichever way you look at it, when you look at how a Lions tour is made up, it's just actually time on the training pitch. It's actually a very, very precious thing for them, so it's probably very hard to organise to have really high quality with lots of people available. So having a full week to focus now, will hopefully mean that they can be nice and accurate and well organised. Obviously, the only thing they've got to fight against now is the kind of that deep breath that everyone draws, because you've won a test match, you've given yourself a chance. That's the killer moment in sport, isn't it? When you draw breath and you always go, right, we've achieved something, now there's one more push. They've just got to make sure that final focus is there, because we know the New Zealanders are going to have it. I hope they're going to be desperate not to lose the Test series. So I think it's going to prove to be a very edgy. I think it'll be more edgy than we've seen New Zealand play for a little while, and I think that will be the thing that maybe gives the Lions a chance. Is if New Zealand do get a little bit nervy, get a little bit edgy, that there's something there for them to lose, because they're not often in that scenario. Even in a 3-test series, not often they go into the final game things to lose. So it'll be nice if the British Lions can start well, build up some pressure, and just for me, I'm almost more interested to see how New Zealand handle a bit of genuine pressure than anything else.
Indeed. Where do you stand, Rob, as a successful club, for the future of Lions tours?
I think this is very difficult. I think you've got to be very careful how you state things. I think it's very interesting. The main thing in rugby is it doesn't want players at the highest level they can to achieve fantastic things, and we all know the players want to play for the British Lions. The argument of whether club coaches or whether Premiership want the British Lions isn't about whether we think the British Lions is a good product and whether we support it and whether the supporters want it. It isn't anything to do with that, and I've got to be a bit careful not to get drawn into what the realities are, because the realities of it all is how we want to look at it. It massively comes down to player welfare and the situation the players will end up in. And I think you can very easily come across someone who's negative about a Lions tour. Well, no one's negative about Lions tours. What we're trying to do is we're trying to manage our club season, our European season, and international season, and the Lions season with a player who's got one body. And I think all the arguments that'll ever come out about how you're going to manage it all will always come down to the fact that we're all looking at player welfare, and we're all trying to, at the same time, we're trying to do what we can for our clubs. And I think it's too complex an argument about the Lions or good or bad to just make one statement on.
And Graham Henry passes away. He did his home Lions test as well. So where that would have been, I have no idea. Listen, Rob, finally, a word on Exeter. What a magnificent achievement that was for you. You've all had a little bit of a summer break. How do you follow up winning the Premiership?
Well, that will be interesting, and that's our challenge. The deal we've done is work so hard to get into the Premiership, which took us a lot of hard work, a fair bit of hard things. We finished second, we finished third. We've been in the Premiership quite a few times, but to get there and stay there, like I said, for a year of time, work our way towards the final and then winning final, that's the journey for us. As you say, it would be somewhat disappointing for everyone else if that came for what we achieved. I'm just drifting to being, a kind of a run-of-the-mill team. People kind of say once they were good, once there was a really good story about Exeter. That's what I want to fight against. I want to be fighting it out as high intensity as often as possible. To make that happen, we probably have to sit down with the players. Again, we've always sat down with them to start asking about where they want to head in the game and what they want to do and what they see as drivers. I think, for me, that's the only way you can really do it, is to address the players individually. As I just said about the Lions, one thing we've got to be really careful on is about drawing a breath where the players just have a deep breath and go, well, we did it. We did something. Okay, we all we do. And all of a sudden it becomes perhaps just pre-season, which means when you're on board as a coach, all of a sudden you've got to take the players. That's really wrong. And the players, the individual drivers, they have individual drive, individual strategy, the emotional drive, the performance drive, perform really, really well in the week. And for me, that's what we talk about. We talk about what we're going to do this pre-season to be ready for that first Premiership game, and we'll take it from that.
government should listen to pay review bodies when it comes to public sector jobs. Ministers are under pressure to look again at the one-stop cap on pay rises. The report suggests a six-sided It's understood police have been chasing 3 suspected attackers who were trying to enter the city. And the government is withdrawing from an agreement which allows boats to fish in British waters. It says it'll allow the UK to take back control. Don Busby has the sport.
All Black centre Sonny Bill Williams has been suspended for 4 weeks for his dangerous tackle on Anthony Wilson. He was sent off in the first half yesterday for a shoulder charge on the Lions winger. Meanwhile, Lions flanker Sean O'Brien will find out this morning if he's to miss the deciding test in Auckland. He's been cited for a dangerous tackle yesterday, and Lions assistant coach Graham Roundtree says their poor discipline is unacceptable.
Sit down and show maybe you don't. Sit there and show the calm dominance. You know, heat the button. It's all about what you do. Go to the team, heat the button. You can't do it. Forward defence, keep reiterating what comes for first.
England's bid to lift the Women's World Cup continues today as Heather Knight's side plays Sri Lanka at Taunton. The former England star and World Cup winner Lydia Greenway says that England will have to be wary of the Sri Lankans.
They've probably come into the tournament as the weakest team, but in saying that, they went out and they put on 257 against Australia. There's a player in the Sri Lankan team called Shamari Atapattu, and she scored 178 of those runs off just 143 balls.
In ball-by-ball coverage from 10:15 on 5 Live Sports Extra. Roger Federer has told Sportsweek that being called a favourite to win another Wimbledon title is strange. 7-time Wimbledon champion also says that this year's tournament may have come too soon for the defending champion Andy Murray, who's struggling with a hip problem.
All you need is time, essentially, and you don't have time. So it needs to be an injury that you can deal with, or you feel like even though you're playing, it will fade, it will go away. And I think that's the big question, you know. Can that injury disappear again, or can you just play through it? The problem is, as every match you play and it gets worse, that's when you know you're in trouble. And I hope for Andy that he's going to be okay.
And former school teacher and 2012 Olympian Jeff Horn has defeated Manny Pacquiao via a controversial unanimous decision. That was to win the WBO welterweight crown in Brisbane. Pacquiao now has lost 4 of his last 9 fights.
This is BBC 5 Live on digital, online, smartphone and tablet.
Good morning, a quick Sunday weather update for you, and across England and Wales a fine day in store. Long sunny spells for the vast majority, feeling very pleasant as well, with temperatures at around 17 to 23 degrees. Although for Cumbria, North Lancashire and across parts of Northampton, a bit more cloud at times, and here just 1 or 2 showers possible. Most though will be dry, same too in Northern Ireland, largely dry day, varying amounts of cloud, best of any sunny breaks to the east of the country, highs at around 19. Scotland though, there will be some showers, particularly across northern and western areas, and more especially to the north of the Forth Clyde Valley this afternoon. The odd heavy one expected, temperatures ranging from 16 in Glasgow to 18 in Aberdeen. Matt Taylor, 5 Live Weather.
On the roads, just one problem to tell you about in Kent on the M20 heading towards London, so that's westbound. An accident has closed the motorway between junction 3 for the M26 and the M25 at the Swanley interchange. There are delays in the area. Carissa Chatterton, 5 Live Travel.
BBC 5 Live. If you like using the BBC iPlayer to listen to your favourite 5 Live shows, you now need a BBC ID. You'll be able to hear the shows you love the most whenever you want and share the things you like with your friends. Plus, discover something new based on what you've listened to. A new personalised BBC is here. Sign up, sign in and introduce yourself at bbc.co.uk. Download the 5 Live Sports Week podcast now.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
So this is Sports Week. I'm Jonathan Overend. We've had a 7-time Grand Slam champion. We've had a Premiership winning coach and a World Cup winning coach on the programme so far. We're going to hear from a world champion who successfully defended her title this week between now and 10 o'clock. Back to Wimbledon though. Serena Williams, pregnant and relaxing in Palm Beach, Florida. The women's singles, you feel, appears wide open this year. Johanna Konta, the British player, will be seeded 6th as one of the group of potential winners. Could there also be a challenge from former world number 1, Victoria Azarenka? It was this time last year. She discovered she was pregnant at the same time she knew her mother back in Belarus was fighting breast cancer. Quite a turbulent year in the life of Azarenka, who's about to play her first Grand Slam tournament as a mum. Well, Vika, what a 12 months it's been for you. Can you take us back to, well, almost this day last year? You'd arrived here after disappointment at the French Open. Your world was about to change. Just can you talk us through that time?
Yeah, it was you know, I was here and trying to get ready for Wimbledon, and you know, I had like unfortunate injury in the French Open, so I wasn't sure I'm gonna play. So the doctor said the knee is not good, not gonna be playing, and then there came happening. So it was like, okay, well, this time I'm definitely skipping Wimbledon for two reasons. One, not a really good one. One is really happening. So it was quite a little shock to me, but I really can't believe sitting here that it's been a year ago. It just feels like it was yesterday.
So that was really as you arrived, preparing for Wimbledon, that it was confirmed you were pregnant?
Yeah, just before that.
It was also a very tricky time, I know, because 3 months previously you received some bad news about your mother, hadn't you?
Yeah, it was tough. It was an eventful last year, but you know, you go through life. We're very fortunate that she's doing well now. There's you know, plenty of otherwise cases, but I'm very happy. My mom is really strong. She showed me she's one of my biggest inspirations to stay throughout such a hard time and be so optimistic. You know, it's never easy, and especially going through it alone for such a long time. Not telling anyone, which was tough. So I'm very proud of her. Very happy that she's doing good, and you know, enjoy her time with her grandkids. You know, my brother also has kids, so yeah, we're good.
How has it all changed you as a person and as a family?
Well, I think on the court, I'm still very demanding, I'm still very focused and very hungry to play, but I think everything in between is just a better balance, really able to just switch off from tennis and go into a completely different environment, regardless if you do well or you don't do well. It's the same, it's consistent, you know, at home, and it's happy at home regardless. So that is a big change that I feel every day, and constantly knowing that life is bigger than tennis. But for the next few years, tennis is also very important for me.
So Leo was born in December. It wasn't too long after that, I think, that you started hitting balls again.
Yeah, it was just for fun. I started hitting maybe like 2 weeks after. Started, you know, working out a little bit more, but I really started training in March, beginning of March, to get my body physically prepared to actually hit for real.
And is it true that around about that time you had a visitor at your house, a certain Serena Williams?
Yeah, you know, that one person everybody knows in the world. Yeah, she was really fun to see her in London.
So she just won the Australian Open.
Yeah.
You just had a baby.
Yeah.
She rocks up. What are we talking about? Give us a little insight there.
I mean, we spent the whole day together, so we talked about, you know, from A to Z, you name it. But
you talked about babies.
We did talk about it. And I had no idea about she was pregnant or not, but obviously, you know, I needed to for some point in her career, and everybody's talking about age and whatever. So she's getting married, so I thought maybe, you know, she's gonna have a baby soon. But I didn't know so soon, which is very happy. I'm actually very, very happy for her, and very happy that she's coming back, because that was I was a little sad when I heard the news for that reason, but I'm very happy she's coming back.
And what are your goals now? What are your ambitions? Second part of your career?
Well, my ambitions are bigger and better than before. Definitely, I'm still as determined, and I still want to be the best. I want to work hard to win big titles, because that's the only reason why I come back. I don't want to come back and just play on the tour and travel and
You've been world number 1.
Yeah, and
that's something. So you want to get there again? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, definitely. It's up there. For me, the most important is to really win tournaments like Wimbledon. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to work hard for it.
And how inspiring is it that now, as a mum, you know, potentially you could do that, Serena can do that as well, Kim Clijsters has done that. Is that important to you?
It's very important. I think I hope that it gives all women around the world a bit of inspiration to just go after their dreams, regardless if they're young or you want to go to work and just do whatever you want, like chase your dreams, because it is possible. You know, you obviously need the support group and a good balance with it, but I think it is possible. You still can do that. Your life is not over, it's just beginning with a, I think, with a bigger meaning and just better. Everything is better.
And just a final thought, it's 5 years ago since you won an Olympic gold medal at this place in the mixed doubles.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, the time feels flies so fast. I can't believe it's been 5 years.
If John McEnroe had his way, you'd be taking on Andy Murray again one day.
Well, that's part of
I do think
Heather Rabbat's just stepping down recently.
And it's a shame that Heather is stepping down, because she's been, again, she's shown great leadership. And as much as in the boardroom, the argument is always, whether the membership is the one that elects people to the boardroom, and that goes back to the clubs. And I think as much as, yes, elected votes are necessary, but that in itself isn't enough. It isn't enough because if the executives underneath that don't themselves show leadership and put in place genuine kind of pathways for females to come through and encourage it, they do it for the executives, then you never really change a culture. Voters on their own won't actually change a culture.
Just on the FA though, you're on the board of the Football League right now. Do you fancy
expect me to back that one, Craig.
You can continue with your diplomatic answers, because we were talking about barriers in sport. Did you experience those barriers when you were running the Rugby World Cup?
I mean, you know, that there have been challenges because there's been a lot of, you know, there's more men and female involvement, etc. But what I will say about rugby is the fact that it asked me, you know, the earlier Ian Ritchie asked me to be chief executive of Service Rugby as a sport. It did that, and I increased the role of that opportunity, and that then allowed me to bring some more females in, which I really do because I work with the Orange. One of my teams now actually in Manchester City, so less than
then it doesn't work. But ultimately, we talk about, and this is why coaching is so important. You know, I think we talk about changing the system, but the LTA talk about coming back into the system, building fancy boards over there. That's why we coach. We forget that it's the first thing coach our kids in school. And that's how it works. When you go, then you can feed forward, and I think it's actually reasonable.
Yeah, and to be fair to us, that's so that children think that it is not consequence, it is essentially that's actually part of it, and that is to change the direction of the LTA. Which is absolutely right, and I support 100%. So, no, but that is actually because the majority of the tennis sector played in park courts, and so those sports, those courts are very good, the coaches very hard, and we're really training for the dogs. They've got their coaches that can coach anyway, because they've got their courts, they've got their coaches, so the courts and the physical training can back, but you can't just do it.
And the culture change that we're talking about, that has started well now, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
How much do you think there is the need for culture change within some sports?
That it is changing, and I think what's happening with the SA is also being done by the ones who are driving that change as well. They have to get the support of the coaches to do that. It's a shame that that happens that this isn't the council, which was the threat of withdrawing the funds, but you know, those two executives have started that change, and they're bringing more females in. My point being is that just because you have a boardroom that is tick box doesn't necessarily change the pathway that we need to inspire young women to believe they've got a future. And that's not just women, that's diversity as a whole. We have to lead by example.
And now you're a consultant working on Birmingham's attempt to be the UK's preferred bidder for the Commonwealth Games in 2022. How optimistic are you that the UK can have the Commonwealth Games again, 8 years after Glasgow?
I am very optimistic. There is, to be fair, Liverpool are bidding as well. They've got a great bid. Clearly, I think that Birmingham is a brilliant bid, but if either were to win, either would put on a fantastic Games.
And the Rugby World Cup, it wasn't bad, was it, even though you left? What was it, 6 months before? Do you feel you had everything in place?
We did have everything in place. And
how did you feel watching it?
I felt great watching it. I mean, it was a team effort. There was a fantastic team there, and I went to a number of matches and was incredibly proud of what the team did. But ultimately, this is all about team. No one individual ever delivers an event.
Most successful, I think, in the history of the competition.
Yeah, it was. We had
Big dough. Big dough.
It made a lot of money that has gone back into the sport. 2.3 million people came to watch it. And we talked about major events in the Lions Tour. You need these major events to continue to drive sport.
Well, yes, and the Women's Cricket World Cup, just to mention for that, big day today, because all 8 teams are in action today, including England, who play Sri Lanka at Taunton. Coverage on Sports Extra, starting in around about 20 minutes' time. Debbie Jevons, Kevin Garside with us. If winning a world title is impressive, winning a second by the age of 25 is definitely worth a slot on Sportsbook. So congratulations, Bianca Walkden, first British Taekwondo fighter to successfully defend a World Championship gold medal. Bianca, good morning.
Hello, okay.
Very well. You're just back from Korea, I know, straight from the plane. Were you aware of that piece of history that you were about to create when you started the final?
Yeah, I did know before I was going on to fight, but to be honest, I wasn't thinking much about it. I was just trying to think about winning. You know, that the competition for that day. And when I got off this year, like I've done it back to back and made a little bit of history, and it's not a bad thing to do.
You won bronze in Rio. Does this make up for not making the gold medal match there in some way?
It doesn't make up, no. I still on that gold in Tokyo, but it has helped a lot, like feel a little bit better. It just, if anything, drives me more to want to go even more now in Tokyo.
Yes, so Tokyo the aim, and then of course the next World Championships are in Manchester, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not a bad way to set me up to try and go for the triple in Manchester, like I think that you could do for the European. Yeah, I'll have to use it to see that has been done, so maybe I can make some more history.
A lot of the athletes we get on this programme, Bianca, are millionaires. In Roger Federer's case earlier, multi-millionaires. What's the life of a professional taekwondo fighter like? Do you break even? Do you make money? What's the deal?
I ain't no millionaire, but if anyone's out there, they want to make me a millionaire, then let me know. But no, it's just a normal life. Right now, I'm in the hairdresser. I'm just like to walk out because I'm getting my hair done because I'm going to the Christmas day for my little niece. So I've just popped out for like in the middle of the street because I can't to get some signal.
But listen, when you're taking on a sport like that, when it becomes more than a hobby, it becomes your life. You need to know you can get by, I guess. So how does it work out practically?
Well, we get funded by UK Sport and the National Lottery, and it's like that helps deliver our dream every day. Like if it wasn't for them, like I wouldn't be here.